All right, thank you very much, Alexandra. Early voting for the November 16th runoff begins this Saturday, and there's a lot on the ballot, especially in New Orleans.
Now, that's the topic of this week's commentary by Eyewitness News political analyst and Gambit columnist Clancy DuBos.
New Orleanians have lots of reasons to vote early, starting Saturday. In addition to a red-hot governor's race and several legislative runoffs, the ballot in New Orleans features two tax propositions, a $500 million bond issue and a charter amendment creating a Human Rights Commission. One of the tax propositions is a $3 million property tax for infrastructure maintenance. The other taxes short-term rentals. It would be paid by tourists, not locals. The bond issue won't raise taxes, but it will raise money for infrastructure. The Rights Commission tracks what several other Louisiana cities are doing. These are critically important issues, all backed by Mayor LaToya Cantrell. The mayor needs to make the case for each of them and push for a big voter turnout.
This has been an expression of opinion by Clancy DuBos. Email your thoughts to commentary@WWL-TV.com.